Welcome to the Business of Pleasure podcast, guys. It is me, Kash, a sexologist bestie, and you know I had to bring the curly roots out because, baby, it is the time for us to talk about Black excellence. And you're going to get to know a little bit more about what I mean when I say that. But Juneteenth is on the rise. But we also got so many other themes coming up in June that we want to spend this month really, really giving some attention to. Like, we know it's Pride Month, so it's a time to show your identity and wear your pride nice and loud. But this is also a time to celebrate our fathers. It's Men's Health Month. And literally, it is a time for independence for people of color. So you know that this couple of episodes that's coming up is going to be all about everything Black. Okay. Now, I want to take some time, right, to introduce you guys to today's guest, who is really somebody who holds a special place in my heart. And I'm going to explain to her why she's so significant to me. But before we even get there, I need you guys to get introduced to this woman. Now, when I tell you her story is one of true inspiration, if you're looking for someone I call the blueprint, she is definitely one who's got the blueprint. She started with Bedroom Kandi as just one of our beta consultants. We're talking about one of the people who came through the door within the first, a couple of hundred or something?
First 200.
First 200 consultants in the building since Bedroom Kandi launched. So she has literally been with the company since day one. But now her relationship to Bedroom Kandi is a little bit different, and that's what we're really going to get into. So before I go forward, let me introduce to you our guest, Miss Angela Solomon.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. So, yes, I actually started as a beta. Mm-hmm. That's when we had to go through the whole, send in your resume, cover letter. We did all of that.
To become a consultant.
To become a consultant. So she picked 200, and that's what we started with. But yeah, so I actually had developed a great relationship in the company with the co-owners
right,
and all of that, because I actually did top recruiter,
all
sales,
of the big things.
All the big things I conquered, and I really loved it. And every year I actually would take products that I make as a hobby, making stuff, don't think anything of it. So I will take stuff and give it to them, like soaps, candles.
Yes, I know you used to come to convention with your soaps and stuff all the time. And I'm a little jealous, Angela. Yeah. I just want to say that.
So yes, I will bring products and I'll just give out, soaps. I'll give the different leaders and I'll give them stuff. So there I got a call like, okay, do you want to make soaps for us? And I was so excited. At the time, we did have one bar in the line, but I was like, great. Right. So I got right on it, and Pure was born.
I remember when you first of all, it was a moment for everybody to be able to celebrate that, learning that you were creating something, because it's one thing to have your company, it's one thing to have your brand and be pushing it yourself, but it's another thing when you think that people across the country will be now carrying your products and something you created and putting it in the hands of others. So that was a big deal for me, because I'll be honest, when I saw that was something that made me look at Bedroom Kandi and say, okay, this place is a little different, because you don't see stuff like that happen.
And what people don't know is we were kind of like, how are they going to receive it? Because at that point, I'm one of them.
Right, you're a consultant. So I relate there.
How are they going to take it? Are they going to be like really hyped, like, yeah, it's one of us? Or it's going to be like, I don't know, but you know how it
can be that way. It's scary.
It turned out, it was scary, but it turned out that people loved that it was one of them. So we're like, okay, we did good on this one. And from then we started to grow every year, the first 3 years, because Balance came in 2020, and then we had Fresh in 21. So
yes. Now I'll tell you. So before I even go, I want to validate what you just said, because a lot of times people won't understand why you might be nervous about reception, right? But I always tell people we have something called cognitive dissonance, right? Where people they have two conflicting feelings, and sometimes they choose the good or the positive thought, and sometimes they choose the negative thought. It's like love and hate, right? They don't go together, but either gonna lean to love or hate. So sometimes a person can, on one hand, be like, oh, I'm happy I'm happy that it's like a Black woman. I'm happy that it's a one of us. But also they can also resent and say that's not fair, or it's not me, or it's not whatever or whatever. So now it seems crazy, but cognitive dissonance literally says that people are either going to choose one or the other. And typically in Black communities, we have a tendency sometimes of not celebrating each other when we're supposed to. So I just want you to know that, like, I completely feel like your feelings are valid, but I'm happy that everybody chose the side of celebrating you as opposed to the other.
Yes. And I think what bought them over as well is that after some of them knew my background, but not everyone, but coming to the forefront is like, okay, this is not just Angela cooking up some stuff and bringing to us. She is actually in the field. You know, I have a science background. I mean, you guys choose to describe me as the chemist, but I like to say the scientist because my first degree is actually a degree in biology, pre-med.
And the body.
Yes.
Now, that's one thing I love. You know, we can get into some biology.
So my first love is like, I know the body, I know how the systems work, which worked to my advantage and still works to my advantage. But then moving on to graduate studies, I kind of rolled over more to chemistry. And that's how the chemistry is now at the forefront. But that foundation of how the skin works, how the body works, it's already there.
It's already there.
Yes. So the confidence came easily, you know.
You always showed up that way. Let me tell you something. Can I be honest?
Sure.
So I met you for the first time in person, I believe. We had a training, and we were just releasing Candy Coated that year. And Nadine came out back when we had our former president of the company. Big love to Nadine.
Oh, yeah.
She came out to New York to reveal or to unveil Candy Coated, and a few of the CAC members had organized. You was one of them.
Yes.
So when I first met you, right, and I'm gonna tell you when I stopped feeling this way too, because it's important. So you were just sitting there, you had a straight face, and I said, she got a resting. Y'all know that face, right? So I'm like, I don't know, I'm trying to read this one, and then you open your mouth, and I heard your accent, and I go, oh, that's just the Caribbean, okay.
Well, you see, that's the thing with me, and I don't know if it's being a Taurus or it's just me, but people, you have to know me to love me.
Yes.
Like, you will see me and be like, oh, she don't talk to nobody. But when you get to know me, you be like, it's night and day.
It's a different person.
It's a different person.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no new friends.
It just goes to show you really got to give people a chance, because we can be so quick to just judge a person from what we see, and we've become so accustomed to not seeking depth because they're lazy. People don't want to do the work to get to know people. They don't want to take time to get a chance and say, I'm not going to just go based off of what others say.
That's what they're quick to do.
They're quick to go off of. As soon as someone else say it, it becomes truth. Yes. Suddenly it's the truth. And they don't take time themselves to learn about the person, to get a sense of who they are and make their own decision about how they feel about that individual. But with you, I've always been that person. So a lot of people would be like, she's this way, she's this way, she's this way. And at first I was like, but as soon as you spoke and everything like that, I understood sometimes too, people misunderstand. When you grow up within certain cultures too, there's a conditioning, there's a toughness sometimes rooted in you.
Yes.
And you don't let everybody get exposed to the other side of you, because you need to know.
Because with experience as well, because growing up is like, oh, you don't be laughy and all this, you got to carry yourself in a certain way. And so it can come over differently.
Yeah.
But then you have to get to know someone. Because someone can be like all friendly and joking, and when you get to know that person, it's like, that's a snake. Like,
sometimes that's the ooh, you hit it on the neck. Ooh, that was a word. Take them to church.
Yeah,
Lord.
So with that case, like, anyone that's close to me, they'll tell you, like, I am very loyal. I'm very protective. That's me. Like, I'm fun. I'm all of that. But you just see me, I'm always in my head thinking, what's my next move?
What's the next move?
What's the next thing I'm doing? So I'm always thinking. So you want, like, if you just glance at me and see me for the first time, I'm not going to be sitting around all giggly
smiling
and
in your face,
because my brain is ticking. Like,
and honestly, let's keep it real. If people were just sitting around being giggly and smiley, we think something wrong with their ass.
Exactly. Like, she on something.
Why is she just sitting there like this?
She got to be on something. So you do or you don't.
You know
either
what I
way.
mean? You would be on the bus or something. We in New York. You'll be on the bus and, naturally when you look at people or something like that, they divert their eyes. It's been a long time since I've been on it, but I remember you naturally look away. But anytime I will have a person who make contact with me and start making something, immediately I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
Let me run for my life. I'm not safe. So it's that kind of thing. So I'm always in my head thinking something, or you may see me like looking away, or I'm in deep thoughts. I'm not even, oh, you looked at me funny. Like, did I? I didn't even see you.
I didn't even look at you. I looked at you.
I was looking past you. Like, my brain is working. Like,
there's a song. There's a song about that cracks me up. That it's a soca song, and it's called it literally Bungie sings it, and he's talking about how that exact thing. This girl is doing all this stuff, and he's like, it's your friend behind you I'm watching. I'm not even checking for you. So we got to really stop getting in our head and just like assuming that the world is circling around us. And
yes, it's not even about you. I mean, you're the farthest. You may be the closest person to me physically in this space, but my brain is like beyond you right now. So it's not that serious.
I gotta respect that, because one thing I know is your brain is always cooking. And when I say cooking, like lab cooking, like for real cooking. And so I told you before, I know you get into some of you telling a little bit about the products, and then speaking about the one that we're really excited to talk about today is when I first got introduced to your soaps, I will be honest, I was not a person who was going to spend a certain amount on one bar. I'm taught from my upbringing, and I think most of us are, to get the bang for your buck. So we used to go into, certain discount stores and seeing who got the best sell.
Absolutely. And you're in New York. I
mean, we're always trying to,
get the bargains.
We don't want to get nothing too bad, but we want to get the most we can. So we used to buying a 12-pack of soap or whatever. And so I'm like, I could get 12 bars for that price. This is my exact feeling. Because I think when I would get products, I wouldn't just think like someone selling them. I think like, what I buy, what do I consider? So that was my first thing. But obviously we get a discount. So of course, new product come, I'm putting that in my hands. Now, spin the block. When I was pregnant, was the first time I talked to you about products, because then my nose was very sensitive and I couldn't handle a lot of smells. And so all of my favorites, like Butter Me Up and all of those things.
I remember that conversation.
Could not, right? And it was actually me having a conversation with you about it that was like unscented stuff. Mm-hmm. And we only had unscented whip back then. It was whipped, not even nourished at the time. So when you came with the soap, that's what made me say, like, I gotta try this soap. And I still carry the sensitivity to smell even after I had my son for a while. I was still nursing, and for some reason it was still kind of like messing with my senses. So I was still getting nauseous by smells. I used your soap, and the first time I used, I think this was Balance. The smell of it was so light, but it was like, I love fresh water scents and eucalyptus and all those things, and it felt like a spa in my shower. And I don't know if the steam in the shower or something was like, so amplifying yourself,
right?
Yes, you know how they used to have the Herbal Essence commercials and the girls used to be like this, or the Skintimate.
I felt like you were in that
I was
commercial.
in there. I was like, Balance. I was just really, and it cleaned my skin so well. I have eczema, so I have to use things. Now I know. I didn't realize that the soaps I was using were actually the thing keeping my eczema flaring up. Mm-hmm. I started using your soap bar, and I was pairing it with like the Velvet, like our scrub and stuff like that. And once I was like removing the price from my mind and considering what my body needs, I have not needed a single prescription for any of my skincare things that I had to get from my dermatologist before. I've not needed them.
And that's a win in itself.
In its own, it literally changed. And then and especially after a child, and now, I'm getting areas more irritated. You're just more sensitive. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so now I'm like, wow, you don't really realize how we've been taught culturally, just as a people, to give ourselves the least. Because why was my mindset that I wouldn't be willing?
The price. Not knowing what it can do for you. So it's good that you had that open mindset to say, let me give this a try. Mm-hmm. Because had you not done that,
I could still be going through because most of those things I learned, and no, don't get me wrong, I 100% believe in science, and I know that a lot of things that we get prescribed to us, some of them are necessary for many people, but a lot of times we also end up using a lot of things that are not necessary, and also a lot of things that are not preventative but reactive.
True.
So all of the things that I use didn't stop the constant flaring up of
Flare-ups
my skin.
and
It would only address it
the
once,
after effect
as
of it
opposed to me now changing my soap and not having it happen at all.
completely. So there's nothing, because you have a flare up, it doesn't disappear when you take the medication. Whatever harsh effects it has on your skin doesn't just go away in a couple of hours.
It
You'll
sticks
still have
around.
to, yes, and you'll still have to use something else to get rid of that. I mean,
that
growing
was the
up
story.
Caribbean, I grew up with my grandmother as well. Having a cold, having certain things, we didn't know about going to the pharmacy to get no prescription filled. It was Granny always had a bag with some herbs, and she'll go put this together, put that, boil it up, whatever. You drank that, and you felt better.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was always that simple. And and the funny thing about it is also we in our head, I think, have made ourselves believe that can be more expensive too. And we don't realize that what the cost for me is the time it might take to do it the natural route, to go that route. But when you look at the cost you're spending, you actually end up you get way more quantity out
Because
of a little
most
bit
of the
less.
time, the natural way will get rid of that issue, that problem. Or at least if it doesn't get rid of it right away, it will keep it away for a longer time. As opposed to you taking medication, it will calm it down. And just anything will just flare it up back again. So you have to keep using that medication, as opposed to the natural way. Over time, me personally, I was asthmatic growing up as a child. And from my grandmother constantly, whatever she boiled up and put together, mixed up, I grew out of it.
Asthma disappeared.
It
Yeah.
disappeared. I don't have none of those. And for as long as I can remember, so I was still kind of like a child before I became a teenager. I got rid of that.
So do you feel, so I want to, because I'm asking this from two ends, from what you just said, but also your experience and knowledge of the body, right? Do you feel that we've gotten too far removed from those things as a people? Like when you're creating these products and you're trying to educate, because I gotta imagine that you have to even sometimes educate your own customer as to why. Like, do you encounter the mindset that we're still feeling like we're too far removed from the things that we initially were always doing as a people?
A few years ago, I would say yes. But now people are becoming more conscious and aware that these things really did work, and they do work. So we're now going back to that. So at this point, no, we're not, because we're more conscious and aware
now.
of what, yes. So
I feel like COVID drove that a little bit too.
yes,
a lot of people. Yep.
It did a lot.
It was a lot of controversial about it. And I never look at any situation like a global pandemic where a lot of people lost their lives. And to anyone who was impacted by COVID or lost someone, we want to send our love and condolences, because we know that is still something. And I always try to be the person to see a positive in a pool of negative. And the one thing that I always felt is that after COVID, there were things that we probably were turning our eyes to or not even considering that it mattered, that suddenly we were like, what's going on? And we were starting to want to find out for ourselves.
Listen,
because people weren't trusting.
CMOS was one of those things. CMOS was around from I was a child. I knew about people using it or whatever. Personally, I didn't. The pandemic brought about my, I would say, consciousness of the benefits of it, that I'm actually in the business of CMOS, and I actually do make products, skincare products. Or Pure
Like
Bar,
I know that
or a Pure Bar, I
has the
actually
CMOS.
reformulated it, and
You added CMOS into
I added
it.
CMOS.
And then also we have the CMOS serum and the skincare collection.
Yeah, which came after.
Oh
as
my
well.
God. And it feels so good. Like I was sharing recently how I'm now navigating symptoms that I didn't know. Now I have a name. Now I know it's perimenopause, but I've been navigating the symptoms for a while. And when you put the serum on your face, like initially just the cooling of it alone it brings down that inflammation and the reddening and puffiness and stuff like that. After I clean off my makeup, my face feels a little hot. If that makes sense.
Yes.
So it's insane, because I'm telling you, all of these things you hear people say, but we done got so into a place of not trusting stuff that even when people are bigging up the natural things, we're like,
But you have to still, me as someone that makes these products, I also have to educate my consumers as well. So with my science background, like doing research, that's a part of me. So I do research stuff as well. So I know I can tell you, okay, this is good for that. These are the benefits, and all these things. So when I educate my consumers, they feel better about using it.
well, that right there is a word in its own, because a lot of times people are trying to get someone to buy into something that they don't understand, and they're too lazy to help them.
Or someone will just get
Understand.
something that they will hear, oh, it's good and it's good, but they don't know what it's good for, what it can do. They can't break that down for you.
Okay.
Like they haven't took the time to learn.
Beyond what
They
they
have
just
not
heard.
taken
Yeah.
that time to say, let me do my own research.
I mean, it's. I feel like all of these things come from this microwave society. Everybody wants everything
Yes.
given into them in one bite.
No one wants to take the time to do all that. So me, I spend a lot of time researching stuff. Suki, we go back and forth, and I always laugh at it. I'm like, at this point, I feel like I sell my stuff to Suki with just me sending her, because I give her this little info package, because I'll break everything down, the ingredients. This is good for this, blah, blah, blah. So she feels now like she's an expert.
And no, but it becomes that because look, I've never been a person who's a skincare expert, but because this is something that's being introduced to the collection, like you said, it's up to me to now do my own diligence. Of course, I'm going to learn from what you share about the product. I'm going to read the package and all that stuff. But I literally, sometimes I take the ingredient decks from the product, I drop it into Chat GPT, and I say, these are the ingredients in this product. Can you tell me the benefits of each of these ingredients? And I let it come back to me. So now when I'm getting those answers, now I'm like, okay, so when I talk about this product, I can share that this ingredient benefits this ingredient, because we have tools. But even before that,
and I'm very mindful about ingredients that I use as well. That's why I research all of them, and I have that confidence that someone like you that will do that, nothing but good stuff is gonna come back.
That's a good point.
So I am very aware and mindful when I put together my stuff.
That's a whole word. If you look at that package and try my own experiment, the products that you use, that you're buying off these shelves and stuff that you don't really know as much about, copy that ingredient deck, drop it into the AI. You can go into the free ones or whatever. You don't even have to pay for it, and just ask them which of these ingredients are good for you and may have harmful things to you. And then go to Bedroom Kandi and grab one of our soap bars, grab one of our wellness products, grab any of them and drop those ingredients into there, and let's see if they even got something bad to come back with.
But first of all, our ingredients, you can pronounce
the names.
What they're. Me as the scientist here, it's like I go into some of these larger companies that we all use their stuff. And one of the main motivations and reasons why I do what I do is that I was once a customer of these other companies. We all love to smell good.
Yes.
But one of the thing is, and I find more and more, when I take a shower with one of my soap bars compared to I'll take a shower gel or something, I will feel clean, as opposed to the others. I will smell good, but I still don't feel clean.
That's a good point. And I always tell people, if you're coming out the shower and you're feeling still itchy, that should be the number one sign that whatever you're using is not cleansing.
So it's a bunch of chemicals to heighten these smell and scents, but then is it doing what it's supposed to do? And I always tell people, my products will do what they say they will do. I guarantee you that. I stand behind that.
Confidence.
And I am saying this.
Say it again. For the people in the back.
This is black excellence, black magic.
Period. Oh.
I guarantee it.
Oh, that was
I stand 10 toes.
I will say this. I sell Angela's products with confidence. And you got to know I'm not BSing y'all. Because if I was stand here and tell the woman, when I first met you, I didn't know if you was a little bitch or not. I'm giving you the real. I sell her products with confidence because, one, I've never had anybody come back, first of all. Nobody has ever come back and told me that any product that you created, or any product we have really, but at all, but especially because these are just more intimate products and they're using them in their genital areas and stuff like that, has ever come back and told me this product gave me an issue. And so, the latter, it's always this product. I'm telling you, just like me, I've not had this problem again. I've not had that issue again. And that matters. So once you see that people are not coming back with no issues, you have confidence in knowing
And
that
I
this
do
is,
tell
yeah.
people, if you have a problem, you know me. Say something to me. I am not buying this and be the middle person here. I'm the one making it, so I can make adjustments. Let me know.
That's a
And
good point. But you know what? And I feel like what you just said, there's a bigger problem there, because as a people, you hear a lot of people talk about black business potentially not being professionals, or I try to support black business, but this, but a lot of times don't give that business a chance. Give them feedback and let them know, hey, now it's one thing if you give feedback and they reject it and they resent it, then they deserve every bit
I
of.
am asking for that feedback.
Yes, if you have a company who's like, please tell me, because if that's the case, I want to make sure that I can, like you said, make an adjustment. Those are the companies worth supporting. Those are the companies worth putting your things behind. And I love that you brought that to the surface, because I think we need to clear that up. If you're trying to figure out who to support, that's a big factor right there.
I don't take that as offensive. I take that it gives me the opportunity to be better. And I'm so grateful that people haven't been coming back with anything negative to say, well, actually, they've been repeat customers. Personally, you know this. I am not on social media where everything is right now and advertising like I should, putting out there. But I have repeat customers because it works for them and they tell others, and
So it's like that old
come
school
into
word of
Bedroom
mouth.
Kandi as a creator, as a vendor for their products now. It's one of the initial conversations we had is like, listen, when it comes to my ingredients, I don't cut corners.
Has it improved your credibility, having the relationship with the company and them seeing the trust that Bedroom Kandi would have in you to want to magnetize your stuff out?
It has. And as I said, from being a top performer in the company, that's how it started. But once I start having a different relationship with them, because being a top producer in a company is one thing. But once I have this different, where we're working one-on-one
Together.
here together, they trust me so much. As I say, I can just tell Suki, listen, this is what I have. And without even seeing, she will be like, okay, Angela, because it's been my track record. And if there's an issue, I get right on it.
You know, it's so interesting because one thing I also say is normally when you're dealing with skin products and anything that you're using with it, it takes time before you see the impacts, and it doesn't take a lot of time.
I tell people, you use my products, you are going to feel and see a difference from your first use.
From the first use, especially, and we'll make sure to insert a video here so you can get a more interactive view of some of the skincare collection products, because we have, where you can see the foam and the color. You can see the turmeric. I can see the coloring in the foam cleanser. I can see that it's in there.
A lot of companies, especially the larger companies, what they do, they'll tell you, oh, we have, let's say, turmeric in this. But then how much do you have? Because they know that's a trending ingredient, they're going to mention it just to get to be in the mix.
Right. But then when you literally see that coloring from the turmeric in it.
For me, I don't water down my stuff, because if I'm going to promise you and I tell you I stand 10 toes and I give you that guarantee you're going to feel and see a difference, then I'm going to come correct. And my words were, it's not about the money. I'm not doing anything to lose or to run at a loss, but the money doesn't come overnight.
No,
but building that trust and that relationship, it will come. And that's what I do. So my products, that's why I get almost everyone that uses my stuff, it's been a referral or they bought from me before and they come back.
They don't just trust in the process, they trust in the product.
Because what I tell them, they look out for that, and it's beyond their expectation.
What their expectation might have been. That's a good thing, you always want to exceed what people are expecting.
Exactly.
And that's always you really don't understand that for most people this connection with the body is an ongoing process, and there's a lot of things you'll be today years old learning and your big age. And that's the other thing. Sometimes we get so, used to, accustomed to what we've been taught is things are supposed to look like, that we just go with it.
And another issue for us is that we think, well, when you use natural stuff, or it's supposed, because what we're used to is like, oh, it doesn't smell as good, or I wouldn't like it. And since we're so used to
The
the
fragrances being
fragrance and all,
added
so
in.
what I do, I'm like, I'm gonna make this connection. It's gonna be the best of both worlds. So I sourced my ingredients in such a way that it's gonna feel good, it's gonna do what it's supposed to do, but it's also gonna smell good and be pleasant. But it still can be natural.
Right, right. And it's
I may
hard.
not give you something that the scent will last for 2 days because chemicals will have to enhance that, and I'll let you know. But it will do what it's supposed to do because you're not going to go without a shower for 2 days. You're not
Right.
supposed to. I wasn't raised like that, but it will
Girl.
take you from shower to shower.
But speaking of how you were raised, actually, that's a really good point because before we start to show some of these products really quick, that was one of the things I really wanted to talk about with you because, for me, I know how much hygiene is drilled in, and especially when you have people who grow up in a Caribbean culture, hygiene is one thing that there's going to be a lot of stuff on, and there's going to be a lot of stigmas around sex. And now here you are over here with Bedroom Kandi of all, right?
Absolutely. Best
Pushing
of
the
both
sex
worlds.
and making it hygiene, right? But what I want to ask you though, because like you said, the positive in being like them being hard about hygiene means that you're on top of it. And so it's good that you create products that can stand the test of time. But like you said, you still want to be on top of your hygiene. But on the flip side of it, now you're also doing, joining as a better, doing parties, talking about the adult side of things too. And what I want to know is when you were bringing these things and introducing them to people who might be within your community of culture, right? How do people receive it? Did you find that those stigmas shaped a lot of their mindset around being open to some of the pleasurable things?
Oh, absolutely. Even before we had most of these products, as I said, I started doing parties with Bedroom Kandi 13 years ago when the company started. I always start with Bath and Body, and I let them know, listen, for me, sex is not going to be fun and comfortable if I don't feel clean and I'm not clean. So this is how we start. So that leads into everything and how I was raised, how we're accustomed, because you don't want to be, sex is supposed to be fun.
Right.
So if you're confident, then you have no hangups about if I'm smelling, if I'm not this, if
It will shake your confidence if
it
you're
will.
not feeling
But
good
if you're
about.
going like, oh, I feel fresh, I feel, from
That's
the
a really
start.
good segue for, and I think for anybody who might be watching this who is a consultant or who might be considering being one, that's a really good point that you're taking them through the process of preparation, which in its own is teaching them how to prepare the body for intimate moments. But the confidence piece you just said is that there's nothing worse. Y'all know how it is. When you've been going your whole day. And I've had times I
Listen.
come home and he being playful with me and he pressing. I'm like, hold on, baby. I haven't had time to check to make sure everything
and
is
we're
right.
used to you always smell yourself first because you're supposed to smell yourself before
Right.
anyone else.
Right,
can.
exactly. But sometimes, you don't necessarily stink, but you don't
Yeah,
always
but you
feel like
don't-
you're freshest.
Exactly.
And so even for me, I don't know, you don't smell bad, but it could be
You
better.
just want to freshen
yeah,
up.
but he over
like-
here poking vagina and this
Because
and
to
I'm
him, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not, but for you have
for
to
me
be
the
confident.
consciousness,
Exactly.
right? And I when I feel like, okay, I've had a chance to go to the bathroom, I done check the situation, I know my girl is good. I say this for the guys too. I don't care if you don't have access to a shower and you're somewhere trying to be intimate. You better put that thing over the sink and
You gotta do what you gotta do. It's
do
funny that you
shit.
say the same because we're used to all of that. Whatever it takes, so that we can do what we need
I've
to
been
do.
out of the, when I go
we
places,
know about that sink.
Yes, I've been places out of the country where it's a bucket in the shower because the water is not. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get
Absolutely.
real creative where you pouring from one pitcher
Listen,
to.
I grew up not having water coming through the shower, so it was about you were going down in the yard and you have
And
to
you
fill
fish
that
the
bucket
water.
and you have your bowl or whatever, but you get it done.
And be cleaner than those of you guys who got showers flowing like the Niagara Falls through your bathroom and then still not washing your ankles.
That's another topic.
It happens. I had somebody ask me one time and they said, "Do you wash your?" Those are the questions. Those are red flags. Let me tell you. No, but honestly, I learned very early though. Not everybody gets the same lesson on hygiene growing up.
Listen, as
And
a mom
that's
of
it.
3 girls, I mean biologically, but 5 total, like it's all females.
And yeah.
So you have to have that because it has to start from young.
Yeah.
You have to instill that in them. So my 3-year-old, my 4-year-old, they know like, oh, we got to brush our teeth. We got to do this. It's time to go take a shower. You have to let them know now.
And it should get to I always say, sometimes for me, you don't ever hear me tell my boys go bathe or this. They just do it because once you condition them. Now, I will say this on the flip side, because the reason why that is because he would be all up in my stuff. I always would my oldest is autistic. So a lot of things he learned by seeing as opposed to, doing it. When your sons are young, they come in the bathroom while you're in the tub or in the shower or whatever. So he would come in there all the time and he would see what products I was using and X, Y, and Z. But for him, he didn't understand how to ration out the quantity.
So he'll just go
run through the whole jar of my scrub or run through the whole tub of my thing.
But the good thing about that, our products are safe for the whole family.
For the whole family, yeah. So I would never be worried.
Have separate stuff as well,
Thank
God.
You
can use it as well as the children can use it.
Baby, he came out looking like a bottle of cocoa butter one day. And I was just like, I complimented him first. I'm like, oh, you look so good. He was like, he's doing this.
Feeling himself
Now
as
I go to shower and I open the jar to go use it. And I empty. So, but it's a mixed feeling because I was proud that on his own, he wanted.
And he liked it that much to continue using it. Because if it
wasn't
wasn't good, he'll be like, I can't use that.
He was over there like,
he was feeling himself. So that's a good thing.
Especially for someone with autism who sensory, when the body has sensory sensitivities, people don't take that into with textures and stuff. Like he's one of those people. And I got a little bit of it in me too, because if I don't like even a scrub, I understand that it's supposed to exfoliate, but I still appreciate gentle scrubs. And when I think about the turmeric one that you did for the skincare, I like the fact that it's a fine, on my face, that fine kind of material. So I can tell that it's doing the exfoliating, but I don't feel like I'm literally abusing my face.
And that's why I say I'm very careful with my ingredients, because what I do, you want them to do what they're supposed to do, but you also have to think about how it's going to feel. It has to feel good. And I consider all of that.
That's important. And again, I'm always transparent. Like I shared even last time I did, an episode, I said, I didn't used to care about certain things because I didn't think they applied to me. But as a woman, you grow, your body's changing every time you turn around. Everything happened to you. And I know, as a mom, and I know every time I had a kid, every time I had something changed and it never came back. The environment
is different. Like for instance, the Pure Bar. Mm-hmm. Charcoal can be drying because it detoxes your skin.
So does the neem and moringa and it offset?
And that's why the oils were added to offset that dryness.
Because honestly, I didn't know about those two ingredients. The other ones I was familiar with when I looked at the soap bar.
And that's the whole thing.
But you obviously, this packaging is not for the newer one that you added the reinvented one. But even still looking through the ingredients, I was like looking at them 5 ingredients. Like I wish you guys could see that. This actually, you can see this is the ingredient deck right here. You know how we usually look at a package? It'd be like all of this.
Yes.
Yeah. No. This is not the ingredients right here.
But it's a lot of things
this
that you can't pronounce at the same time.
Right. And it's like, this is really just telling you vegan friendly. You know what I'm saying? It says made with both. And that's where I saw it. Neem and moringa oils and high in vitamins and antioxidants. So I said, okay, I need to understand this because I do have a skin condition. And no one taught me even to understand eczema. I just knew that it made my skin look crazy at times. Mm-hmm. But as you get older, you know better. I'm looking around one time for the ingredients, and because I look at it and I went right past it, not realizing
because that's not what you're used to.
This is all of the. Look at that, y'all.
So it's no fillers, just things that are gonna work.
Things that are working, and honestly, that's exactly what would happen. And so it taught me so much, and I want to give you your flowers for that because that was one, and that's only the soap bars, right? So I did want to take a quick minute to kind of like really give people more visual of it, right? So I'm gonna open this one up so you could kind of see. This would be the example of like with the charcoal bar, or so it looks like. And you can tell it's charcoal, like you said, because when you see the color, you know it's infused. And baby, it doesn't smell, like I said, overwhelming to the senses. So if you like to wear your fragrance and stuff other than that, or you like our Seduce Me and any of those things, you can still put those things on. This is never gonna conflict, and it's a good size bar, but you will be surprised how long
it will last.
it lasts. Because a lot of other soaps, you got to do a lot of
And we don't have,
this
there's
and
no
that to
fillers,
get.
no fluff.
Yes.
It's going to get there. It's going to cleanse you. It's going to do what it's supposed to do. Like my husband does not use anything but the charcoal bar.
So what I want to ask you, because if you look at this one, this is balance, guys. Right? And I know the light is probably reflecting it up. There we go. Hold up. There you see those little speckles inside the soap bar and whatnot. Can you talk about that?
That's
And
actually green tea.
green tea.
Yes,
And green
the
tea
green
is
tea
also
powder.
isn't green tea also, from my understanding, tell me if I'm wrong, is it one of those that's also like an anti inflammatory properties
Absolutely.
to it? Okay. So most times we're used to ingesting green
Yes.
tea. Can you tell me a little bit about it for the body on the topical?
So it helps it. So like for the eczemas, you will see you will have those flares. So it's
Yes.
inflammation and all those. It's good for all of that.
Gotcha.
So it's good for
That
the
makes
inside, but it's also good for outside. So that's matcha green tea.
Okay. And I use them, both of them, on my in my vaginal area. Like, I don't choose between the two. I use both because one is gonna help with the complexion, and
All
it
the
feels like
soaps are safe from head to toe.
yeah,
Nothing harsh in there. So you have to. Oh, I have to change this. No. You
No,
don't
I
have to
use both
change
pure
anything.
and for different reasons. And people don't understand that because they have different benefits. But like
Exactly.
you said, when especially like if I shave or if I had wax, then I notice. And so I'm happy you explained that, because I didn't realize it was that element that could be added to it. But it helps with the reddening that can happen in the area. And then this right here, a lot of times. So I'm going to tell y'all, this is for my girls, because a lot of them comment and they ask me questions like, what do you use on your inner thighs? Because y'all see, there's a lot of thick thighs. Thick thighs that don't always save lives, because sometimes they rub. And when they rub, you feel like you're going to die. And it doesn't feel like your life is being saved at all. They also don't save lives at TSA because they always got to go up in my legs and check on me, make sure I'm not El Chapo over here. But this part right here, when it rubs, suddenly I'm up here looking like a shea butter, high yellow cocoa butter sister. But down here,
It's a whole different
a
story.
whole nother woman. She looked like she'd been through a little bit, right? For a while. I want to say for the past couple years, I use the charcoal infused soap, and then I come back and exfoliate the area too with Velvet. That's my other product that I live by, because it keeps the area
And
smooth.
that's a great thing. In Bedroom Kandi, we have products that complement each other.
They do, even though
Yes.
And Velvet is from our beautiful. They're also one of our products that I would shout out in as far as Black creation, because these ones have shea butters that are sourced in Burkina Faso and Ghana. So there are women's collectors over there who source the ingredients, kind of like how you go into to the Caribbean and places to get your ingredients. But all in all, I'm using this and I'm using that. And I'm noticing that the area is not, the friction is not happening as much. When I go out in the day, I use Bust a Move to keep it dry. That's our lotion that goes on like powder. Keep it dry so that they don't rub, but that keeps them nice and smooth. But then little by little, she started to come back to another complexion. And now I'll be over here and here and here. And people will see me busting it open in the straps. And then they're still going, wait a minute, what you use on your thighs?
Yes, because it's like big girls, big thighs. You don't see them where they'll do all of that because they're
Because
afraid.
in that area it's usually very dark.
Yes.
It's usually very dark. Chafing hurts. It's so uncomfortable. And
But it's a common problem.
and there are also slimmer girls who
that
have the
experience it.
problem
Yes.
as well. And I know men don't like to talk about it, but they chafing under that region too, especially those who go to the gym or who like to play at things. The balls are like hot.
Exactly. Yes.
So they experience chafing and don't like to admit it. So I just like to feel comfortable. Like, that's how I live my life, comfort. So I will say your soaps have played a key role in that. Now, we do have a new set of soaps coming out that I really want you to talk about.
I am
And
so excited about this collection.
I am too. And I tell you guys, so first of all, let me hold up. You see this here set. This is called the Black Excellence soap set. So you can see the colors on that, right? Obviously why we're calling it Black Excellence. Look how that color showing up. Ooh! You see the green, you see the yellow, you see the red. So obviously it's meant to celebrate the colors that represent the African American culture, Black culture, period. Not just African American. I think it includes to anybody who is Black and brown.
With the colors, they were carefully chosen as well. So the green, we spoke about the moringa oil
open it.
inside the Pure Bar. So I used the moringa powder to give me that green color. So it's not just working for the color, but
Okay.
also the ingredient that will actually do benefit you when you use the soap. So it
Interesting.
wasn't just a color.
Okay. And I didn't realize that. And now you have the etching in there, 100% handmade.
And
Period.
likewise for the yellow,
So
guess what I
what's in
used?
the
Turmeric.
turmeric, and that makes sense because now this is gonna be the soap that's gonna really help. Oh, baby, this
Yeah,
was
so
pure.
I was waiting for you to talk about that because for a while they're like, we need a turmeric soap.
We do, guys. Turmeric when it comes to
lifesaver.
complexion.
It's a
Oh
lifesaver.
my God!
But turmeric, it helps with
with
inflammation,
inflammation as well. So it's so funny because when you did the scrub with the turmeric, I was happy, but I was like, all right, so but what we gonna get for down there with the turmeric in it? So this is right on time, guys.
As I say, I'm intentional with the products I create.
And I think, guys, let me just say this to you. A lot of times, and I want and Angela, you tell me if I'm speaking wrong. Sometimes when you guys get your flare ups from different things and shaving and stuff, a lot of times they don't, because they shave and they do
They
the same
do
maintenance
things
that we
that we do as
sometimes
well.
do, right? But they don't follow up with the same.
They don't do the
care.
aftercare.
Aftercare. Y'all usually hear that word in a kinky space, but no, you need to
but
aftercare that body
if
after
you wax, if you shave, you need that aftercare.
Yes. So I'm saying, I'm throwing that out there because I don't want women. I mean, people to think this. We just talking to women.
But did
here.
I tell you how I got the red?
No, I would love to hear
It's from
about.
beetroot, the powder.
Really?
Yes.
So tell me about what you would recommend this one. Well, I know it can be used for everything, but the benefits that adding a beet and then any other ingredient that might be relevant too.
So I added these powders because they will benefit the skin in one way or the other. And if it's not inflammation, it's just glowing skin, because the turmeric will do that. The beet will do that.
Complexion. Okay.
Yeah, so it will add a glow.
And that glow. Look at her skin.
So I am usually not a makeup person. I have on no powder, no foundation.
Can
anything.
you show them the space? I'm sorry. Can you get into the skin? There is nothing on that skin,
is
but
probably like a lip liner and some gloss, but I don't do anything on my face. Rather, I use the skincare line. I do the oil that we have in the skincare line. But in terms of foundation, powders, rarely I'll do that.
you can see the natural glow radiating off of you, and this isn't lighting, this isn't whatever. The lighting is just helping you see it better. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because
and that's one of the reasons when you create skincare products. And as I say, if you're gonna tell people it's supposed to do what you tell them it's gonna do or what you make them to do, I can't be coming out here with no
crazy.
shade, because some people just can't help it, and that's why I'm making products for those people. You should have that choice of, I'm going to come out with no makeup today, or I want to enhance my skin with some. But it's not a case where you don't have that choice and you need it. If you don't put on layers that you can't leave
you
the
don't
house.
feel confident that your skin looks good.
So this is giving you that choice back.
Right. And because honestly, I believe most of us, except for my extra makeup girlies that just enjoy makeup, because there are some people who really,
some people just enjoy it.
love
but
it.
In that case, what you want to do is enhance what you have going on, not cover up. Not use it just to cover up.
Right. Or that if you go jump in the pool, you ain't got to worry about who come out after.
I remember, and I always, people will say things to me. One time, when I started off with the charcoal soap, and that's actually a big hit. But I was doing a vendor event, and someone came to me, and I was talking to them about it. And the person wasn't too interested in what I was saying. They were more interested in what my skin looked like. And they're like, you know what? Just because of how your skin looks, I'm going to buy it.
I'm going to buy it. You have to be, you're a product of your product.
And I am a product of my product. I use all my products.
I'm telling you.
They say don't get high on your own supply, but in this case, I do.
Because they be at the pool parties, y'all. And they is not touching a lick of water at the pool party. Because that beat can't be touched. And the hair.
We want you to have your confidence back. Summer is coming. You better get some of these
products. You're supposed to be having a good time.
Listen, and not worry about what is going on in your face.
And does my face look good if the makeup come off?
And how you're smelling, because we have products for all of that.
Or better yet, if you're going to scare somebody after you had that fun night. When
they
they
get
wake up
it's
in the
like,
morning and it's
am I
not.
looking at the same person? Is this who I went to bed looking at?
They're
No,
like,
it's a totally
"Ugh."
different person. No, this is what you see is what you get
I would
kind of
tell
thing.
people, you remember back in the day, you used to go to the parties and, you used to party. Like if you were, we were really, really in it, and then everybody wait for the lights to come on. Everybody would wait for. They would talk to people all night. You dancing, you having a real sexy love. You done had a little bit of rum or whatever, and everything is all good.
Until the lights come
But
on.
as soon as the lights come on, everybody is
different-
checking to see if that's the same person they saw with the
in
with
the
the
dark.
blue. Listen, if you don't want to be that person, you better get your hands on Angela's stuff because
Get
she's
your
gonna
hands
have
in
you.
these products.
She
And the
gonna have
products
you,
complement each other.
baby. Because the lights will come on, you be up in there like this. I'm sorry.
You're still glowing in any kind of lighting. No light, lights on, lights off. You're gonna be glowing.
So funny thing is, I planned on showing you guys the skincare items firsthand when I got here today, but the reason why I didn't have them is because I used my own product first and I left it in the
And left it
bathroom.
behind.
Just habit.
It happened to
before
both
I
of
grab
us.
it, because I bring my own things sometimes when I come to show you guys, because I don't want you guys to just see a brand new bottle. Like, look, this is Angela's Soap Fresh, and we didn't even get to fresh, but if you look at the bottle, let me turn this way because that's probably the best way you could see. Well, you can't see nothing because ain't nothing there. I'm gonna just tell you, I got like 2 pumps left in here. I'm literally, when you get to the point where you gotta
and you
hold
see
the
that's
bottle.
a small bottle, but guess what? It lasts a long
No,
time.
I've
because-
had this one for a good while.
And we went through that. Like, I'm not gonna give you something, and you be like, I'm paying all of that for this. But once you use it, you realize
You don't need as much.
You don't
so
need
you're
as
used
much.
to you're used to feeling like that normally
Because everything is
because
potent.
everything you need to
But-
pour a lot of in
Yes,
order to
but
get
once
the
you
same.
buy from those bigger, larger companies, they water down everything, so you'll need a larger amount. So
In order to
then
get
they
the
give
same
you a
result.
bigger size. You feel like, oh, I'm getting for my buck. But once you toe to toe, the little one wins.
It took a good 3 months.
Yeah, it'll
for
last
this-
you a long. Listen,
and it
we
could
were
go-
going through it like, how long should we tell them? Like, if we're marketing it, how long should we tell them? I'm like, listen, I was pumping out. I'm like, listen, I'm pumping, and you see what's going on here. We can't get to the bottom of this. So
It took me 3 months, and I
so I had
use
to
it regularly.
extrapolate. Like, I had to use a certain amount and see how far it will go, and then like, okay, so it went this far, so it'll take like 10 times or whatever to get it, because you will keep going. It will last you a long time.
And it's funny though, I'll tell you, everybody has different ways to use stuff. I personally use the soap bars when I shower. I use Fresh a completely different way because I travel a lot and
So
it's
you
small
use
enough
Fresh
to
on the
travel.
go.
So I use it almost like, and I had this thought because of Frida, one of our other leaders and master trainers within the company. She talks about we both always talk about we travel a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're on a go and you got to go to the airport or whatever the case is, when you use the bathroom and the restroom, you still traveling can make you feel dirty. Just
yes.
just has a
Especially
way.
long flights or connecting
yes,
flights,
it just
you're
has
gonna
a
be-
way of making you feel like you're carrying a lot of stuff sometimes, and you just feel uncomfortable. So I use it like a bidet on the go. That's what she say. Frida's the bidet in a bottle, and I thought about that, but not just for the rear, but period. Because in this area, I want to wipe with something. If I know that I'm on a connection, I'm not going to be near a shower for the next 8 to 10 hours. I want to feel fresh on the go. So I spray it onto my flushable wipes I travel with. And I use that to wipe in between. And the crazy thing is, I know it's good and I know it's clean. I know it's natural because in that instance, I'm not
It's
using
not
water
gonna
to wash
irritate
off.
you.
Exactly.
It's not going to itch you. It's not going to have none of that effect. A lot of people use it when they go to the gym as well.
Yes,
if they're
that makes sense. It's,
exercising.
if you're not going home or you don't have time to do the full workup before you get
Exactly.
home.
And it fits in your purse easily.
Yep. So this bottle gets used up on travel and it can fit in my carry-on. So I don't have to worry about TSA. So everybody finds different uses for stuff. Some people prefer foam. Some people, I love bars. I don't know, something about feeling a soap bar does something for me.
And we had this idea because, we have Pure and Balance, but then some people, like when they travel, they may be traveling for 2 days or a week. They wanted something smaller. So that's how we came out with the Black Excellence Trio, where you have a smaller bar. And
you
now
have
you have options
and the
now.
funny thing is now perfect because the sample size of Pure and Balance are
but this is like double the
double
size
that,
of
and
the
now that's
sample.
like double of the sample.
it's
So
a
now
good-
you got
it's a good
tiers.
median.
Yes. But they all will travel well. Before we go, Angela, one thing I wanted to take time to share with you all in this conversation is other products that's on the table, and I wanted to give a shout out to a few because just like Angela, we have plenty of people. We're a company that's Black owned, and we also have developers that we work with that are also Black owned as well. So I did want to give a highlight to and I know Angela, you probably love these just as much as me too,
Oh
girl.
yes, and I use both of them
Both of them.
because I am a citrus person. So sugar daddy
Sugar
is
daddy
my
has a
jam.
thing. It's a
Yes.
thing. So I always tell people it's like it's a choice. You want pound cake or lemon pound cake because that's what they kind of feel like to me. But sugar daddy was originally branded for men, right, as the male version of
Yes.
hot cakes. But the formula really in this one is the same. Here's what you'll notice in common with these two products to what Angela spoke about: the ingredient deck, right? It's a proprietary blend of just essential oils. So you're not getting anything extra. But there's another huge ingredient, which I know you're very familiar with too, which is the coconut oil.
Listen, I bring that all the way from Guyana, like
Yes.
by the gallon bottles.
You
I
got to
travel with it.
bring, yeah, coconut oil is good for so many things. You can do so many things with it, cook, all kind of stuff. So these ones, a lot of times people don't realize when you get the tube of hot cakes, and this one looks like it's a good example for it, right? If I open this up, you'll notice that this is kind of pulling, it's kind of thick. You see that thickness at the end, even though above it it's not? That's how you know that's real coconut oil, because coconut oil in certain temperatures of the room
What we
is
call
cooler.
it sleeps.
It's
kinda.
yes,
But
it
once-
does. Once you put a little, you mind if I use
With a
your
little
hand as an
heat?
example, Angela?
With a little heat, you're good.
I'm gonna take some on her hand, and all I'm gonna do is use my hand to generate the heat, and
look.
instantly you
Look at
see.
that.
Look at that. You can bring that out. Y'all can see it from everywhere, and
Yeah.
she has a beautiful skin. So that was only a tiny drop,
Yeah, that was just drop.
and she has
a little
enough
goes
to
a long way.
I have enough on my hand.
A little goes a long way.
Left to moisturize. So that little bottle is going to take also a while. But let me tell you what these products are intended to do, right? They're basically natural elixirs. And what these elixirs are is for your intimate, it's designed for your intimate regions, but there are plenty other uses we all get from it. But these specific ones have antimicrobial properties, things that's going to help keep you fresh, and also fighting those odor causing bacteria, because everybody doesn't realize that there's different bacteria that do different things. And so what these two products are going to do is fight off the bacteria that are direct contributors to odor. So you'll go 10, 12 hours with these products after you use it, and you still smell like it. But because the ingredient deck is natural and the coconut oil that she used is sourced in a very specific part of the world, you can't find this coconut oil anywhere. In a lot of places, you're going to find it in certain places. So because of that, the smell has a little bit more unique. Most coconut oils have a beautiful smell, but this one has more of a sweetness to it. So you'll notice like it smells like a pancake or a cupcake or
And
something.
again, that's what I love about this company. They always partner with people who take their products very seriously.
Yes.
You know, it's not just about
Not
the
just
money
about
or a
that.
come up or whatever,
Right.
but we stand by our products.
Yes, and with Kenitha, her name is Kenitha Grant, who created these products. She created these products to deal with problems that she was having with bacterial vaginosis, so similar to you creating the products.
Yes, it's always about solving a problem.
Solving a problem, and even for a problem, you
And
usually
it
trying to
starts
fix
with
your
her
own
family.
problem or your own
it starts
family.
at home first.
And then it works
and
so
then
well.
It works so well, and then you take it out. Because the funny thing is, when I first made the charcoal bar, it was to fix an issue at home. And I decided, because as I say, I use my own products.
Mm-hmm.
So I was testing it as well. And someone made a comment like, your skin, what are you using? And at the time, I was kind of confused. Like, I'm not using anything. But then I realized what I was using. The only difference was the soap that I was testing. And
so you were in a testing phase, and it was already showing the result.
And it was showing the results.
And I remember you mentioning skin stuff also for your family too, right?
Yeah.
And your husband.
My
I think
husband at the time, yes, had it was a rash right behind on the neck area.
Yeah.
And we use it, and that's how come we came. It's the antifungal
Fungal kind of
antibacterial, and it worked. So I was the one that was using the soap. Who I made the soap for wasn't using the soap. But then after they saw my skin, like,
then they got with the program.
And then it got rid of the problem.
That's very, very typical of how many men
exactly
learn about how to care for themselves.
True.
It's usually us, some way or another.
Now I don't have that issue. Like my husband, he's ready to test stuff. Like I have something for you to test, or I have a new stuff, but he religiously uses the products. Like
I got my man using it too, baby.
So
because you gotta put them on.
I don't have a problem in my household. My daughter she's more into the skincare.
Okay.
And a teenager, she doesn't like oil. She doesn't like, but she uses the oil every. She's like, oh, this is different, and
It's
she
not
hates
heavy.
oil. It's
Yeah.
a lightweight oil you would not even know you have on. You'll
Yeah.
just glow.
The skin, I would say that
You'll be
when it
glowing.
comes to the oil that we have with the face and neck oil, I agree. And honestly, sometimes when I'm just wanting a quick refresher to my
That's
skin,
my quick fix.
I just do a quick two
That's
cup
my
3
quick
drops,
fix.
and then
If
really
I don't do anything else, the oil.
you'll literally see me go 1, 2, 3, and then just
Yes.
rub it in, and instantly you get a lift.
I am not the makeup person. I am not this, but once I wash my face, I will put on the oil if I don't do the whole routine. The oil will.
Let
go
me
on.
ask you before we close out, because I was going to talk about one of this, but you said something that kind of leads to it. So speaking of makeup, right? Because I'm gonna show you guys a few other things because we're very intentional, right? And I think intention is very, very important. But you just said I'm not the makeup girl, and I grab these products because I find that I have my go-to colors. Like if I wanted to do something wild, it would be like a red or whatever, pink maybe. But I didn't really play in too many things for a while until we started having makeup. That's what kind of made me like, okay,
Start
if
playing with
I'm gonna
stuff.
sell this stuff, I gotta
Yeah.
figure out what's what. And now, I'm doing my own makeup whenever I have to do something.
And
And
as I
stuff.
tell people, when you're selling something, you want to use that. You'll be more. They'll feel you once you use it. You'll be more passionate.
You'll be more passionate about it. You'll have true life stories,
Exactly.
experiences,
and you will sell more. The sales will come. Just be authentic about it.
It's not difficult because I told you don't sell. You present problems to people. I mean, people will present the problems. You present the solutions. So you're never selling.
And that's
you're
what we're
literally
doing. We're
exactly.
just
I'm
finding
saying
solutions.
And when people talk to you, they naturally tell you their issues. And so I would always kind of, and when people tell me about makeup and they say that, what you just said, I'm not really into makeup. I find that some of the easiest things to get them to try are more neutrals. And if it's bold, it's still a neutral. And that brought me to want to talk about, you see this beautiful tube, first of all. Let me just, the packaging, you're going to always, like the packaging, you're going to always appreciate the attention to detail in packaging, right? You'll notice that everything has like a very, very sexy, let me turn that around, the brand aesthetics, the black and silver on the guys. So this tube is special though. You'll notice the colors. It perfectly sits next to the Black Excellence. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous.
We're twinning. We're
Twinning.
twinning.
I love that. I love that. And that's just the outside of the box, guys, because when you take it out the box, this is the tube that comes out. So first of all, you can already see the colors there, right? In the fist. This tube is our Juneteenth special edition lipstick that we sell it all year round, to be honest, but we definitely want to make sure with Juneteenth coming, if you want to find a way to represent and show your independence and represent your culture, this is the perfect time. It has the date June 19th, of course, on it, and the colors over here, 1965, and then you over here see celebrate 18. I said 1865. Then you'll see Celebrate Freedom on the other side of it. And then if you come over here, Black Lives Matter. So this tube was really, we actually introduced this the year of, I believe, COVID, if I'm remembering right.
Yes.
Or right around
when
there was
they
a lot
made
of Black
Juneteenth,
Lives Matter.
and they made
Juneteenth became a
official.
thing. We immediately wanted to do something to represent that. So when you pull out the tube, it's a statement lipstick tube.
Exactly.
And it has a magnetic class, so your top stays to it.
I'm not a makeup person, as I keep saying, but those I will walk with definitely.
And this is just it's a sweet brownie. It's brown. I literally, and I'm purposely keeping this here. You can see I have a little bit of a liner, but I wore a light color so that I could give you the Juneteenth color.
And look at that, perfect.
It's a brown. You see, so it's not one of those colors it's bold.
It's bold.
You can see I didn't put a lot. I only put it on the
No.
bottom. I didn't even do the upper and all that. I just gave you the bottom, but just that little bit. You get a full pronounced brown, and this is definitely the color to showcase the complexions. And honestly, it looks good on even the brown.
Yes,
the
it
brown
does.
girls. You would think it doesn't show up well, but it shows up really well on them, and just layering it. But we added another lipstick this year during Black History Month called the Black Excellence lipstick. Was one. It's a black cherry sort of thing, and this also, I am Black History, is the affirmations. And as you turn the tube, the affirmations change. So it could be create Black legacy, support Black history, build Black joy. I am Black excellence. If I flip the tube, the messages change. I am Black legacy, create Black history, support Black joy, build Black excellence. So this tube is a constant reminder of the goals that we have as a community and as a culture. And another statement piece. But this color, and I even have a dark brown on, and this is why I want you to see the potency of our lipsticks. This is a little bit more of a cherry red undertone. So if I go over here, look at that.
Yes, I definitely can see.
Instantly, the color is there. And it's, you see now the lighter brown in the center. And just like that, I didn't have a professional makeup artist. I just took two colors
And played
live
with them.
on camera in front of you, and you watch me just change my whole look.
Absolutely.
So this is what I call a day to night. Early, I just had a little light lips, like light liner, like you said, the lip liner and my lip gloss. But if I'm leaving a job or if I'm leaving an event and I
You
want
can
to
switch it up.
hit the bar and switch it up and give a more bold look, I literally pop this out, and in 2 seconds, I'm giving you a whole nother
Again,
energy.
That's one of the great things about Bedroom Kandi products. Again, they complement each other, but they're beginner friendly as well.
And you want good pigmented stuff because that's how you know you're going to get the most. So these two lipsticks, the Black Excellence lipsticks and the Juneteenth, you want to get your hands on these because this is the way to celebrate culture right now during a time where this is our Independence Day.
Support
okay?
companies
And make
that
sure
support us. That's
while
important.
you at it, you complete the set. Get your Black Excellence set.
They make
your
absolutely
black-
perfect
everything
gifts.
here is Black
We're gonna have
excellence.
cookouts and all of that. Listen, everyone at the cookout. can
Everybody
get
at the
one of
cookout,
those.
exactly. You need to
So,
put it.
For our consultants. Like, there you go.
It's the way that you talk about it. And honestly, I feel like we're more passionate about those things. So everything that you guys saw today are products that are of Bedroom Kandi, which is a Black owned company, a Black owned brand. But and we also have developers. So you're not just supporting Black excellence in one tier. You're supporting the Black owned brand. You're supporting the Black developer. You're supporting the consultant who might be of color as well. And in 3
Absolutely.
ways, you're supporting Black business
And
3
what
times.
I tell my fellow consultants as well, I'm not just a product developer for the company. When I
You
develop,
also-
I also have myself in mind and my fellow consultants because I'm a consultant as well. I'm gonna make stuff that I want to sell.
That you wanna
not
sell.
just I'm selling to the company, I'm making money. But then, how are they gonna resell this?
Right.
Will they be able to make money after you already handed this off? So I keep that in mind.
And keep
too.
it in there. And I'm telling you, so if you are looking for a way to really dive into that, y'all see the impact that we're having. Y'all see what the blogs are saying.
You see, we're both glowing.
You see what them businesses
We
is,
woke up like this.
okay? Y'all see what the impact is that happens when we choose to really put our and make our investments in places that keep the dollars circulating.
exactly.
And I always say this because Bedroom Kandi is not just a Black brand, right? I want to be clear. We are literally inclusive, welcome of anybody who you want to come to this family. Everybody's invited to this cookout, right? But what I will say is that during a time like now where we're finally getting to celebrate our own day of freedom, this episode gonna be a little Black. It's gonna be a little Black.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, the thing is, what I like about they give back as well. They put back.
Oh yeah, we get back to a lot of causes as well too.
And as a developer, like I don't do as much. I do in the United States here where I live, but also I'm from Guyana. I do every time I go back home, I give a little back.
I love that.
You know, a lot of times I will do like, and I'm big on maybe it's just me with food and all of that.
Oh no, that's not just you.
But I do a lot of, I do mostly food hampers around like, you know, when August is coming, if I go down or even if I don't travel, like I will send, like I'll do backpacks.
Something
Something
yeah.
I paid forward all the time. So every time I do, if it's not just Bedroom Kandi or my personal brand, my company, when I sell, I always give back. Sometimes I'll run a sale or whatever. I'd be like, oh, the profit will go towards something, but I believe in giving back. And I love Bedroom Kandi and I'll support their journey because they've always
giving back. Always giving back, and know that the some of these brands we benefit back to those African the women's collectives I mentioned earlier. It benefits back. Everything is tiers, but you're literally supporting multi levels of Black owned and women owned business too. And we welcome the fellas, but I will tell you this, Angela, what you just said is the reason why you stay blessed, right? And we are always in the business of blessing others, and
Paying
I want
it forward.
right. And we figured we want to make it easy this season, because this is also the month of Father's Day, for you guys to pay it forward and help a father get his first kick into taking care of himself, or support one who already loves, you know, he's one of those guys who definitely is into his regimens, and he's they say metrosexual is a term, but I just feel like we don't have to put a label on a person taking care of themselves, right? But if you have a guy in your life who you want to show love this Father's Day, whether it be a dad or a brother or a husband or your boyfriend or whoever, a friend, this month, when you purchase and you spend $100 on our website, you're going to get a free grooming kit for you to gift to anybody or keep yourself. It's up to you, depending on. But that grooming kit is from our BK for Men's grooming kit collection, and it has a nice bristle brush. All of the products that we use, down to the brushes and the bristles, are
I
not
think
made.
it has the beard oil in it as well,
Yeah,
which smells absolutely amazing.
We have so many good products for men, and honestly, one of the most slept on categories in my thing of the products we have, the men's collection is top tier. And you can pair that with some of the other items in the collection, whether it be a face scrub or a body butter. All of those things are made with the same natural ingredients. We have our Aeros wash, our sprays, or if you want to get them a little something to
Sidekick.
and get a little something to get a little, going. However you want to pamper
But I
that
think that's
man.
a great idea that they're giving that for free. Let's pay this forward. Especially, I'm challenging the consultants, my fellow consultants. Like, if you do multiple $100 in sales, like, let's donate to some dads.
Yes, I like it.
Let's pay that forward.
I like it because honestly, we even as a consultant, if you're a consultant and you shop and you use the dashboard, every order that has $100 value,
You'll get that.
We'll get that set.
Let's pay it
so
forward.
you can collect the sets and give them away.
Feel, like they should, wanted, appreciated. We don't do that enough.
Say the words again.
I'm a mom, and I can tell you, we go all out for Mother's Day. And I know,
and then Father's Day,
Father's
be like,
Day guys have the problem, like, oh, it's not, all the restaurants are not full. We don't see all these bouquets and
ain't
everything.
no special menus.
So,
ain't no.
let's switch it up. Let's
switch it up this year. Let's
Yes.
pour love. Let's pay it forward. Let's show love to our black men, our men out there. Period.
They're like have
during a trying time
against them, and they still have to show up for us.
100%. And we
So,
want to make sure if they have to
let's
show
them
up,
that we're there for support.
they're gonna look good when we show and not messing
Yes.
with us. We're gonna make sure they feel good when they show up. I love that. That was a great challenge, and I'm seconding in that notion. But I'm gonna say this to anybody: we're challenging you. If you saw products or we talking to you, like, I want this for me, I encourage you, hit that $100 limit. And this isn't even about us. Hit that $100 limit so you can get that free kit, and you can gift it. You can pay it forward to someone, and
It won't
make them
cost you
feel
anything
special.
extra, but you'll be able to do that.
And it will ship free.
Well,
And it'll ship free. We love free shipping.
Yes.
Okay. So that's my call to action. As we close out, Angela, I just want to give you an opportunity to just, for Money Making Monday, we always try to make sure we make sure people know how to connect, right? So if you can let folks know how they find you or where they find you so they could connect with you after they watch this, because I know they're going to want to tap. They got questions and they want to talk or buy.
Sure. I absolutely encourage, as I say, feedback, especially if you're using my products and whatever. Absolutely encourage feedbacks. I am on Facebook as Angela Solomon. That's the one I use the most. You could also check me out at my website, which is Let Sunshine Create.
Okay.
As well as sunshinecreations.com.
Okay.
Sunshine Creations has 2 S's at the end. So
don't get lost.
SUNSHIN.
Yes.
CREATIONSS.
Okay.
.com.
And I'll tell you this, you heard Angela say it earlier. She's still a consultant.
I am still
so
a consultant.
if you're trying to get this
and
party
I'm like
going, a skincare
I'm
party.
I'm a beta consultant, so my consultant ID is 72. So we're
it's very easy number, right?
Very easy. So it's bedroomkandi.com/72.
I would tell you this: get with her, book with her, have a skincare party, have a pamper party, have a wellness party, and know that she can still get you with that other side of the business. If you,
I'm not retired. Like I was party consultant to doing parties at most parties in the year for a couple of years in a row.
Mm-hmm. So she ain't scared to get out there.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Angela. I learned so much, and I hope you feel honored that we, and that you feel all the flowers that we really want to adorn you with. But the best way to show Angela her flowers is to go put some of these products in the cart and put your money where your mouth is. That has been
I do, and I want to say thank you to the Bedroom Kandi community. They have been great to me. Like, they do show me love.
That's what's up.
I appreciate each and every one of them.
That's one thing we know how to do is love on each other.
I appreciate that. Like, I do. They reach out to me.
I would say
I extend, like, hit me up. Like, some of them be hitting up at some weird hours, but I do get back to everyone. Like, I do, and I appreciate the love.
We're gonna have to get you on a call soon so we can
Let's go get it.
don't sleep. So it's money out there, go get it. And we're gonna see you next week because we're gonna continue the themes of June, bringing you more great content here on the Business of Pleasure podcast. I'm your girl Kash, a sexologist bestie, and I will see you again soon. Bye.